Hey, thank you everyone for being here, and we are here to discuss about the Rutgers ECE program. For those who don't know me, I am Wahid Balu. I am the graduate director, which means it's sort of like the equivalent version of the graduate director that you have at undergraduate level. Only difference is that unlike the undergraduate case where you have like also advisors at the dean's office, you don't have any more advisors. So the graduate director basically serves all the purposes. If you have to ask me any follow-up questions after this meeting, here is my email address. Please don't send it to my personal email address because here it will take me much longer. You send email to ecgraddirector@soe.rutgers.edu. I also have weekly office hours, typically on Wednesdays from 5 to 6 p.m., both in person as well as on Zoom. If you send me an email and say you want to talk to me about it, we can set up a time. Make sure you do send me an email before you do that, because the danger is that maybe for that week I change the office hours. Like next week I don't have those office hours, right, because of Thanksgiving. And so you come over and you find out that I'm not here. So it's always a good idea to just shoot an email, but I can confirm to you whether I'm available or not. I also work with my graduate program coordinator, Katie Yu, who is unfortunately unable to be here today, but she is extremely helpful and she can help you with any question that you may have. Okay. So the program is, hopefully everyone has pizza. If not, there's more pizza available at the back. And everyone please do sign up on the sign up sheet and grab a flyer if you haven't grabbed that. So the program is going to be, I'm going to briefly chat about a few key things about the graduate program. Just try to motivate for those who already know they want to do a master's degree. Perhaps this is not for them, but just to let you know. And then we will have a panel with two existing BFMS students, right? We have Daniel and we have Chiram over there. We'll call them up. They will ask some questions and also take your questions just to let you know their experience in the program. Then I will go to the specifics of the graduate program. And at that time, I'll try to address some of the other questions that were posed to me. And perhaps if there is anything left over, we can address that. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. Why do we have what we are looking for here is, okay, so the thing that I want to focus on first part, if you're not sure why the master's degree, and a natural question that always comes up is that, 20, 30 years ago, high school degree used to be enough, and bachelor's degree are just moving the goalposts. And the idea is not that it is not necessary for you to get a master's degree. A BS in ECE is very valid degree. You can have a very good career with a bachelor's degree, but there are a few reasons that you may want to address or think about a master's degree. So one reason is that intellectual growth, right? So at the bachelor's level, you have looked at many topics and you have understood them, you have scratched the surface, but there's a lot that is uncovered for you, right? And so if you have intellectual curiosity, if you are thinking about what more can I do, I'm really interested in this topic or these topic areas. Right now, at the bachelor's level, we expose you to all topics, signal processing, communication, circuits, and so forth. Master's is a time for you to say, like, I really fell in love with this topic, I want to learn more about it. Okay, so that is one reason you may want to pursue master's degree. Another reason for you that you may want to pursue master's degree is job satisfaction. Okay, so that is not true for everyone, but oftentimes what happens if you are getting into a job after bachelor's is that there comes a time where your learning, your excitement about the job plateaus. Okay, because many of the roles are, with a bachelor's degree, they are limited to the kind of roles you can be given. You can go into sales, marketing, those kinds of things. But if you truly want to develop stuff, in many cases, bachelor's knowledge is not enough for you unless you do a lot of self-learning. So a master's degree can lead you to a better job satisfaction, right? Where they can now give you, because you have specialized in a topic, companies are more willing to give you development tasks that they wouldn't have given to you as a bachelor's grad. Okay? And the third thing is that with master's degree, especially the amount of money you input into the degree wasn't that huge, you have a higher lifetime earning potential. Right? With a master's degree, there's a starting job salary differential compared to bachelor's degree. And at the end of the day, we all hear about, well, not all, but most of us, right? So if you are into this category, right, then you do want to hear about the master's degree. Okay? But again, as I said earlier, this is not, it is not necessarily for everyone. You may have a bachelor's degree, get a very good job, which eventually pays you very well. But if these are any of the reasons for you, right, then you may want to explore the master's degree. Okay, so that is the part about the master's degree. The question is why the combined BSMS program, right? You can do masters there are hundreds of universities in the US. You are a Rutgers student, but why do masters from Rutgers? Why do the BSMS part? So let's talk about that. So the claim is that the BSMS program, and it is typically called 4+1, which is not completely accurate, but we'll talk about that. It still gives you the best value for your time and money. Okay? And the reason is that when properly planned, and the emphasis here is when properly planned. So we are not promising you that you will get the degree in 1 year, right? Just like no one can promise you that you will get an undergraduate degree in 4 years. But when you properly plan it, as a Rutgers undergraduate student, you can get a master's degree with as little as 1 more year. And we have some very ambitious, actually, students, right, who are planning to do it in actually 1 semester. Now, it is not for everyone, right? Some students have the capacity to do that. And if they want to, that to their friends, that's up to them. But 1 year is a very, very doable thing. And that includes 2 semesters and 1 summer semester, which allows you to do 4 credit internship. In addition to that, if you are a master's student, you have the opportunity, again, there is no guarantee, but you have the opportunity to apply and get greater position, which typically can pay anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a semester. You can also apply for teaching assistantship and graduate assistantship, which are very, very competitive, but students do get it, right? So the caveat here is well-qualified students. For those who do get it, the TAGA from 2024, the stipend per semester is $17,000 and change. And it also gives you full tuition remission and some healthcare benefits. Again, the point here is, though, that these are very selective positions, and we'll talk about what gets you a TA position, what gets you a TA position, okay? But greater positions are much easier to come by because you have taken the course, you tell the faculty that you want to be a grader for that course, they'll be happy to recommend your name, right? So it's an arrangement with the faculty. In addition to that, Dean's office, Matt is sitting behind us, and if I say something wrong, he will correct me, right? But the Dean's office has this promise that BSMS students will get $1,000 scholarship if they enroll full time. The main emphasis here is full time. If they enroll full time, which is 9 credits at the graduate level. So full time means 9 credits at the graduate level. They will get a $1,000 scholarship if they start in fall 2024 or spring 2025. Okay. So these are the grand reasons, substantial savings in time and money. You can translate it to any other university and you can do the calculation. Let's look at just even Rutgers calculation. A master's degree in almost all universities, including Rutgers, requires 30 credits of coursework with a GPA of 3.0 or above. Okay? That's the requirement to earn a master's degree at Rutgers. The recommended load for graduate students is 3 courses a semester on 9 credits. You should think of one graduate course as equivalent to about like 1.25 or 1.5 undergraduate courses. So you can go up to 12 credits, but I don't recommend going above 12 credits. 9 credits is a pretty nominal load at the graduate level. So if you do that, then you students who come to Rutgers, they take about 3 to 4 semesters to get a master's degree. Okay? And you are effectively cutting that time down to half. And that means that you are doing it at 1/2 the cost. Plus, most of you already are familiar with the Rutgers system, so there's no gearing up. You know which courses you want to take. Everything is already clear to you. You basically continue with your bachelor's, finish the master's in 1 year, and then apply for the job. Even if you have a job, you can ask them if you can defer the job. We have had students who have had jobs within New Jersey and they have made arrangements that they are either starting late or they are doing part-time and things like that. There are many arrangements. Keep in mind, part-time means no $1,000 scholarship, but hopefully with the job you're earning much more than that. Okay? So this is what happens to a typical master's student, but why BSMS gives you a faster graduation time? It is because if you, during your undergraduate time, have completed, and most of you do, have completed your undergraduate course requirements very fast so that you are left with gaps in your semester, right? So you used to take 18 credits a semester or 15 credits a semester and then take summer courses. And now you are looking at in your last year maybe 9 credits or 6 credits or 12 credits, right? You can actually take extra courses, up to 12 of those, that is 4 courses, undergraduate level. They don't have to be graduate level. The key here is they have to be unused. They cannot be counted towards your undergraduate degree. They cannot be counted towards your undergraduate residency. Most courses at the 400 level within ECE are then available for you to transfer towards your master's degree, which means that you end up with only requiring 18 credits. If you went up to 12, you are left with only 18 credits, and even if you took 9 credits one semester, 9 credits another semester, you are done in 2 semesters. Right? I was talking about students who finish it in actually 1 semester. Some of them are doing, for example, 15 credits a semester, which is not recommended at the graduate level, plus 3 credits at the summertime. In summer, so the 12 credits are though undergraduate requirements. If you enroll in a graduate course, right, in that case, there is no limit. If you enroll directly in a 500 level or above course, you can even within, before you start your master's, you could have already earned 15 credits or 18 credits. Right? So because of these allowances, especially the undergraduate thing, you can effectively graduate within a year or less. Now, in some cases, it takes you, it may take you 3 semesters. but we'll talk about why you still want to do a degree from here. I have some questions being raised. Yes? Sorry? So within the ECE, they have to be 400 level or above. They have to be courses. They cannot be labs. They cannot be capstone. Of course, you will apply capstone towards your degree certificate or whatever. If you can also use CS or other departmental courses as long as they are ECE related. The only time we will take 300 level courses are if they are from math department. In the math department, we will take 300 level courses. Okay. There was some other one. You had a question, I think. Okay. You have a question? Yeah, so 300 level courses other than math, we don't count any 300 level. What? Graduate level courses? That is up to those universities. We can't say anything about. Yes?
Is there a list of classes anywhere that apply for master or?
So the general rule is that pretty much within the ECE, any 400 level course that is a course and not capstone or that would apply. If you go outside ECE, you should ask us first. So almost any, but I don't know if it's like if let's say math department offered a 300 level course on using mathematics to do origami, right? We won't accept it. So that's why I don't want to give a blanket approval, right? But if it's a logical course, yes, it would come. But since I cannot pretend to know everything about, for example, math or CS, it's always best you come and talk to me first before you actually enroll. Yes?
What level of this year?
400 level. Right? We'll come to the internship. Yes. No, that's why I said it has to be a course.
Okay.
They must not have been used towards your undergraduate degree. Basically, double counting is not allowed. Extra courses are allowed. So here is a simple test for whether a course, regardless of what level it is, right? The first requirement is when you come to the graduate program and you say you want to actually use these courses, the requirement is you have to go to your degree navigator and give us a printout of the degree navigator, and the course has to be under the unused section. If you go to your degree navigator, at the very bottom, there is something called unused courses. Okay? It has to be listed there. Now, sometimes degree navigator, it says, don't tell anyone in the dean's office that it's a very stupid system, right? It automatically will assign some courses even though you could have replaced them with some other course. Okay? So Dean Long, who is the upperclassman dean, is the person who handles that. It happens all the time. I have students come and say, I really wanted this course to be unused, but degree navigator made this course unused. What do? I say, go to Dean Long, he'll fix it. Okay? So that happens all the time, but fundamentally you need to have enough courses under your unused section. If it is not, then that means somewhere it is being used. And I don't have to access to your degree navigator, I can't play with it. At the graduate level, there is no degree navigator. Right? I am the head. So I can only see the graduate level. Okay? Yes, ma'am. It's 12 credits, not 4 classes. If you go above 12 and you are counting 4 classes, we will cap it at 12 credits. Yeah, it's 12 credits, not I.
3 4 credit classes.
You can take 3 4 credit classes, that's fine. If they are all in CS, you take 3 4 credit classes. So yes, thinking about it in terms of credits is a better way than if you are outside ECE where 4 credits are exist.
And if the class is 3 credits, will 1 credit lab?
No, we don't transfer lab. As I said, it has to be a course. When I said course, I'm like lecture things. Labs are not transferable. Yes.
Is it graduate program?
Graduate department, well, our graduate department does not. But the only way to earn credit towards your graduate degree in the summer is through the internship credit program, which I'll talk about. Okay, so let's take a look at some scenarios to a 1-year master's degree, right? Say there's a senior, I mean, all of you are now already done with your fall semester, so some of it may not apply to you. But if you are a senior and you are left with 18 credits to graduate with the BS degree, and you had 2 semesters, rather than taking 9 credits each semester, what you could do is you could take 15 credits per semester, and that way you have now 12 credits extra. That count towards your master's. Another thing is, let's say you are a senior, you needed 24 credits to graduate in 2 semesters. Instead of 12 credits, you take 15 credits per semester. So now you have 6 extra credits. And in addition, you can engage in 2 semesters of, so we allow up to 6 credits of 4 credit internship program. Our internship program is different than undergraduate internship program. First of all, you enroll, you get approval for before you actually sign up for internship. It has to satisfy certain rules. It has to be relevant to your degree program, but and you have to write a report on it and all those. But up to 6 credits you can do for internship. So what that means is, for example, let's say you graduate in May. In summer, you already have an internship lined up. Even though you will begin your graduate school in fall, you can actually take 3 credits of internship during that summer, the transition summer. You have to get approval from us first, as I said. But you do that, you sign up, you get the 3 credits, then you take 1 semester, 9 credits, another semester, 9 credits. Now you are up to 27 credits, you have 3 credits left, you do another summer internship with 3 credits. Okay? So up to 6 credits of 4 credit internship program, it is developed so that it enhances your learning experience. So there is a stringent criteria for what gets approved. But as long as you are doing, proper internship and not just cutting wires, then you can actually use the 2 summers. That's how you can earn credit for a graduate program in that. Related to the specialization you are pursuing, right? Like you cannot be doing an internship in graphic design, right? And get credit for that. So the 24 credit scenario, one scenario is that you take 9 credits, 2 summers, and took 6 additional credits while you were doing your undergraduate. Another way is that you actually don't want to do summer internship, and so during your undergraduate, instead of enrolling in 15 credits, you actually tortured yourself and took 18 credits and built up 12 credits. So there are there is no one unique formula for how you can earn extra credits. Once you do those, all of those are transferable, and as I said, the limit is only for undergraduate courses. At the graduate level, you can take as many as you want. So there was a question about someone had asked about the graduate courses, enrolling in graduate courses, right? So as an undergraduate, you can enroll in a graduate course by first emailing the faculty. So if you have been admitted as a graduate student, as a BSMS student, then you can reach out directly to us. But if you haven't been admitted yet, you can reach out to the faculty, say, I want to actually take the graduate course. Here is my background, here is why I feel I'm ready for it. If the faculty approves it, then you come to my office and we give you an SPN for that. So it has to be an SPN based thing. But you can take graduate courses whenever you feel like, as long as you are up to the rigor of the graduate. Okay? Yes.
For undergraduate credits used for the master's, any grade requirements, you get a B+ or better in it.
You need like B grade at least. So the transfer only happens if you have at least a B grade. Because the reason is you need at the master's level, you need a 3.0 GPA to graduate. Okay. Okay, so some of the additional benefits of what you get while applying to Rutgers as compared to, we have talked about money, time, environment, you already hate or disliked or whatever good term. Some of your professors all love them, whichever way you fall. But you don't have to take the GRE exam. You do not have to pay any admission application fee, so free application. You do not have to write an admission essay, okay? And you may not need recommendation letters. May not means that I'll describe later, may not here applies to basically depending upon your GPA. If your GPA is 3.2 plus, you do not need a recommendation letter. So effectively, all you need is your transcript, some information that we need from you, and you tell us this is a specialization I want to do over email. That's it. Right? It's very piece of cake. Okay. We'll go over the details of next step for interested students, but this is the time where we basically call Sriram and Daniel, if you both can come up. So these are two of our BSMS students. Daniel is also doing actually a 4-credit internship this semester while doing part-time work. And Sriram is doing a GA with and he got it, I guess, after showing his chops to the faculty. But they can. So we have some questions ready for them, and then after that, we'll open it up so that if you want to ask questions from them, and then I'll cover the last piece, which is next steps. Okay. Okay. So for each of you, let's just keep it brief. The mic is behind you, so if you want to maybe step back a little bit or
mic.
okay, so we'll start with you, Sriram.
1, 2.
And why did you apply to the program?
Well, this is my first year in the program, and this is my first semester. In regards to my experience, I guess it must be a little bit different because, as Professor Bajwa just stated, I am also a GA as well. So on the side of actually doing schoolwork, I also technically have a research job with Rutgers Wind Lab. And so overall, it's been a pleasant experience considering the fact that for what I thought was going to be balancing a lot of schoolwork and a lot of actual work, it's actually been quite relatively easy.
Daniel, so same for you?
Yeah, the experience has been nice. A lot of those topics I'm doing, I studied a little bit of it when I was in undergrad. So it's easier to just do it my master's now so that my knowledge just transfers immediately. Because I knew if I was to go into the workforce immediately and then come back and do a master's, I would forget what I learned in school. So just doing it now just really helped. And since it's 9 credits, it's way more time for me to study on my own. Because I remember the semester I took 19 credits, I was walking around everywhere and I was taking so many buses. But now it's just all my classes are on Bush, 1 class a day. I'm chilling and I'm reading, so it's good. I can go to do my work and stuff like that. So I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, so the next question is, what are the benefits? We'll start with you, Daniel, this time. What do you think are the benefits of the BSMS program? You kind of alluded to it in your previous answer. You want to expand?
So the benefits for me is what he was talking about, saving money. With inflation on the rise and everything, the cost is only going to get higher. So doing it now and having the same prestige as doing it 5 years later is just better for me. Also, like I talked about, giving me more time to study by myself. we we do in our undergrad we do more of learning than reading by ourselves. So in the grad school, it's basically like you still learn, obviously, but because it's less classes and less time doing those classes, you just have time to sit in your room and actually like study those things. Because in your masters, you're doing a specialization, you're not just going broad anywhere. So these are times to do like personal projects. These are times to like you can actually read the textbook because some of us haven't read the textbook before. So you can actually read the textbook and know what you're doing. And also like for example, do things like work. So a lot of people, when they were working, a lot of my friends, when they were working during their undergrad, it was really hard for them. They were really stressed. But because of the flexibility, I would say, of the grad school, it's really not so much stress to both work and go to school at the same time. And also, I know a lot of, I'm still in school. I still live in Livingston. I lived there last semester. So the area is familiar to me. So doing the BS, in Rutgers specifically helped me just be familiar. There are a lot of people I know that are like undergrads and are still here. So I didn't really miss out on all of the relationships I had. I still have them now. So it's good for me like that.
Cool. Well, same for you, Kiran. What do you think are the benefits of the BSMS program for you?
Roughly speaking, I like the fact that most graduate classes don't really have exams. That's really nice. They're more oriented towards projects and most of the time homework. And relatively that gives like a lot of like a better experience for me to actually learn roughly other than just memorize for the exam. I don't know about you guys, but it's really nice to actually know what I'm actually doing. And then also the fact is, if you're like undecided about like the future, whether or not you want to do a job, explore research, work in an academic area, I think a graduate degree like really helps in helping to decide because a lot of what happens in like the graduate school like encourages you to actually make a decision later on in the future. I know there's a lot of opportunities, especially with employers who really want to hire people with graduate degrees, but then also there's a lot of interested professors that want to just make you do their work as well.
And give you money, right?
Yeah, they give you money, hopefully. I mean, I've done free work as an undergrad, so I'm used to being exploited. But anyways, but I would say it's a good way to actually have a conclusion on what you want to do. And then at the end of the day, even if you're still undecided, you got a graduate degree. A lot of areas are going to be open for you, actually more opportunities as well.
Well, last question, and we'll open it up to questions from the students, which is what is perhaps one or two things that you think is fundamentally different being a graduate student than when you were a bachelor student? Both of you have pointed at it, so it's okay if you want to repeat that or add something to it. Sriram, we will start with you.
I guess in regards to like obviously the workload is a bit different. Obviously you're not taking 17, 18, 19 credits.
You can take.
You can, but you don't want to. You don't want to. So that's obviously very different. What I found actually very startlingly different is the fact that a lot of students and a lot of professors will talk more about their own research, and you will actually be more well adept for what is currently happening in the industry or in the academic field in regards to that experience. Because what I found is most undergraduate classes, you're just getting to learn the basics. Like, as much as you want to learn the transistor for like what, the third time, fourth time in a different class. It's interesting actually discussing a new aspect to the field or seeing how to interpret papers or actually building your own project because what the class is going to force you to actually read up on current material and actually build something practical to show.
I think you may still be undecided, or did you decide you are doing thesis?
Oh, I am doing a thesis.
You want to say a little bit, and then we come to want to say a little bit about that also, because we pointed to staying at the being adept with what's the latest. So.
Oh, okay. So I guess to specify a little bit of what I do. I deal with 5G networks and their interference with satellites. Particularly just the fact that they both operate in the same frequency band, and so because of that, there's a lot of concern about noise interference between these two communications and trying to minimize them so inherently both of them can function properly simultaneously. And so a lot of what I'm doing is regards to that. And the thing is, the funny part about a research thesis is you don't know what you're really doing until like you really have like explored it for several months, and then you're like, oh, this is a terrible idea, and then you actually are like, oh, but I can make it better, and then you try for several months later to actually work on it. In regards to the thesis, I know several people doing the thesis. It varies based on how much commitment and how much effort you put in yourself, because basically all the material you're producing.
That's not cool.
Nice. All the material you're producing is inherently stuff that hasn't been either tested or properly vetted yet. So it's going to be a lot of frustration, but at the end of the day, people are going to hire, or people are going to like ask you for help, not because you were not like, you know this, but you're the first one to do it, and you're creative enough to actually keep on building on it.
Thank you. So the same question, what is the fundamental difference you found between being a master's student compared to a bachelor's student?
Fundamental difference for me is the relationship to your professors. You think you'll have, there's no 100 student classes. Like I was in a class and there were only 5 people. The professor had to talk to us, like, so you like get, yeah, the professor had to talk to us, and especially if you have like 3 hour classes. He's not going to lecture for 3 hours. He's going to stop a little bit, talk to you. You're not just going to be staring at him in the face. But that actually, like, he can share his experiences, because most of the professors are also, they come directly from the industry. They can share. And I also got my job from the graduate school. They sent the email about, oh, there's someone looking for a student looking for a job. So the graduate school also like sends out job opportunities they have. And just because you're doing the master's program, the job will just hire you. So the difference is the relation with the professor, more like the job opportunities, because no one really sent me any job opportunities in my undergrad. And just like the overall time you have to learn by yourself, which I really value, because I don't have to, I'm never backed up on my work like I was in undergrad. I'm always on top of my work with the time I have. So that's the benefit I see with it.
Great. So I guess if you want to ask a question, please, you can either say to X person, right? We are two different people doing different things. Can you also say your specialization area? I guess you are doing communication.
I'm still in this.
Okay, but sort of like
communication,
signal processing, maybe
machine learning.
Okay, and you are doing
solid state,
right? And then he's doing thesis, which has slightly different requirements. Daniel is doing a 4 credit internship program part-time through our partnership with the company while taking a stint. So you can either ask, okay, this is an open question, or you can say this is a question directed towards either Sriram or Daniel. So, yes?
Yeah. So I'm a GA because so when I mentioned my job, I work at Rutgers Lab, and so because of that, as a requirement of my GA position, I have to work on certain projects. One is related to this NSF grant that my advisor got and I'm working on currently, which is related to the 5G networks thing I discussed before. And then, so I have to work on that for a certain amount of hours every week in order to actually honor my contract. Oh yeah, by the way, it is a contract. So you like, I wouldn't say you sign your life away, but like you're supposed to commit to it for a certain amount of time. For me, it's a year.
Which comes with, I think, $36,000 stipend and free tuition. And
oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah, you get free parking too.
Oh,
everybody really answer that one.
Wait, well, I mean, okay, I wouldn't say free parking, but it's like $40 for everywhere.
Well, both of y'all, what are your
Okay, let me go with that first. So I'm actually, it is annoying because I didn't like what I am doing currently before. I'm actually working in digital signal processing, But in that digital signal processing, I'm also working with FPGA, working with transistors and stuff like that. So going into solid state electronics actually works well with what I do, because as I'm learning, I'm also performing it in my work the next day. So like just having that knowledge, and everybody looks at me like, how do you know this? And I'm like, I just learned it in class yesterday. So having that, at least that knowledge to get into my work, because I also work in radio frequency, and it's all about like using the right materials or the semiconductor for this. You will learn about it eventually if you do a master's degree, but it ties in well, very well with my work and what I'm doing.
Oh, so for me, I wanted to get a PhD actually. Um, so I know there's the option to actually go from undergrad to a PhD, which you all should also consider if you're actually interested in that. But for me, the master's degree was helpful because it gave me time to actually evaluate whether or not I want to commit to a PhD, because I'm going to do a master's thesis. So I wanted to build up before I actually pursued a PhD program. And then secondly, Rutgers might not be my option for a PhD. I'm sorry, Professor Bajwa. But it was a good way to like at least build up the credentials, because a lot of PhD programs are really intrigued and interested in students that have a lot of experience, a lot of background in work, and then also most prominent thing, like, can you get published and can you get sponsored? So because of that, I was able to actually get like submit papers. I'm currently trying to get my first publication. Don't know until December, but I've been working with some other professors in regards to that, and so the master's program allowed me just to do work with the lab that apart from what my job is, and then also focus on getting paid as well, because it's nice.
Okay, good question for our panelists. Yes,
So how competitive is it to get like an engineering?
is it for sure?
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know how competitive it is because, and I only say this because this is my experience. My advisor, Professor Mundium, he told me in February that he submitted a proposal, and if I stayed around for like a bit, like he can probably get confirmation that he got the proposal, and then I would get a position. So pretty much he already told me I had a job before I had the job. I don't know about other professors and how it actually is supposed to be handled, but I guess in regards to the overall concept of a GRTA position, it's a bit tough because, mind you, everyone wants money and everyone's going to try to find money some way or how. So it's more about trying to find the person that is willing to sponsor you or willing to provide the funds for you, and then also making sure that you're like the first one that they promised, because they might sometimes promise to many people, but they can only get a certain amount of funding.
So let me add on to that, right? For the GA position, the fundamental thing is the GA positions come from grants that faculty obtain from the federal government or the and a GA costs faculty about $100,000 a year in terms of grant. So it is fundamentally a question of whether we believe the person we are working with has the ability to produce work that we can write back to the grant agency and say, this is what we do. So it is very competitive in the sense that, you have to have some track record of earlier research. You have to first build a relationship with some faculty, because just it is not a job like any other, because doing research is a skill. GA position is about doing research. So we have to have done some work to convince the faculty that that is something that you are good at doing. And in most cases, GA positions are limited to people who want to do research. Because eventually, for funding agencies, the outcome of funding a project is publication. And someone who is doing thesis needs to do publications, but someone who is not doing thesis does not. Any other questions?
So the thesis.
And it's hard, but your advisor should know what your thesis is and look through it beforehand. It's like, mind you, it's also their like credibility on the line. Like they can't like support like a student without knowing what the student is doing. Otherwise, it's like saying like, oh, do you trust your friend if you don't know what they're gonna do at the moment?
So, so at the master's level, you have two types of degrees. You can get a master's with thesis, in which case you have to take 24 credits of coursework and then 6 credits of thesis work. Or you can do master's without thesis. If it's master's without thesis, you have to write a technical report to showcase, or it's called technical paper, to showcase that you know how to do technical communication. Typically, that simply involves you take any one of your projects in the graduate course and you turn that into a technical report that the instructor signs off on it and to other faculty. Thesis is similar, but now you have to actually sit in a 1-hour oral exam. There's a 3 faculty committee that evaluates the quality of your work for whether it's acceptable for thesis or not. So they look at both the written part and the presented part. It has to be original research. It cannot be a project. It has to be original research. Like you can call it a project, but it has to be original work. Publication is not a necessary condition, but it has to be original work. Publication sometimes comes after people have submitted their thesis. There was one other person who had their hand up. Yes.
I got a question. What made you choose program?
Okay. First, because I knew the place. Going like obviously you want to go do a master's in a place that's like, or maybe higher and stuff like that. But I'm an international student, so it's really hard just like going around, like moving, like because I have like a place I keep my stuff. And so finding a new place I'll keep my stuff maybe in a different state is also really hard, and my family is around. So staying here was just the best option. Also, all my like a lot of my other friends that were doing masters were staying here. So it's just more comfortable, you know. Rutgers, you know, Bush Student Center, you know, the dining hall, you know, cool. You know, it's chill, to be honest. It's just like the home of it, you know, that's what made me stay.
Oh, for me specifically, couple of things, but like one of the most important ones was money. It costs less. And actually, because of the GA position, it costs nothing. But in general, like being in state is just generally it costs less, and I don't want to be a financial burden to myself, to any of my family, or relatively to any loans that I have to pay off. So because of that, it would be helpful just not having to take in that many loans, which in my case I don't have to, fortunately. And then also, secondly, I know a lot of professors here, which just entails the fact that like I can be able to like work in their labs. I can actually discuss with them ideas, just basically able to pursue like what it necessarily takes to be a PhD. I felt most comfortable here just because I know everything here right now.
Yeah, can I also add to why I wanted to stay? Like, you would think when you go outside of Rutgers and you go into the work world, you would think you have an Ivy League level degree. I'm telling you, like it's not funny. I go outside, oh, you went to Rutgers, oh, that's nice. You should be very smart. Like they, as if I went to Princeton or something. So having 2 degrees from Rutgers actually like holds sway, especially in New Jersey. It holds like sway in the job market. So just having those 2 degrees gives me like at a higher position amongst my peers and stuff like that.
Disclaimer, we did not pay anything to. We only Well, okay, your advisor is very.
We say that graduate school as compared to undergrad is more about who you know as well as the kind of, and not less about academic prowess, and more about the kind of relationships you have with professors and other items. I know you guys both discussed about that. Really,
Do you want this person? Okay. It's kind of weird because in my experience, I've talked to professors in undergrad, but most of the times they were usually MAE or CS professors. Really didn't get to talk to actual ECE professors. But in most of those cases, I didn't get to actually talk to them. I didn't start talking to them in class. I just cold emailed like a bunch of professors. Some did not respond, but some did, and I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to like be in their lab and actually work on stuff, especially during like capstone. I don't know if any of you guys actually talk to whoever's actually is capstone like. Do you guys have professors yet for your advisors?
Hopefully they are signing up right now.
Okay, because that is a good way to actually get to know professors better and actually communicate with them about your ideas. But that's how I was able to basically build up, I guess, my network of professors in undergrad. But in the grad school, I was kind of like a little bit surprised, but it was very like endearing the fact that like I could just go into like a grad class and then have a conversation with a professor before and after or office hours, or generally most of the times, because a lot of the times those grad classes are those professors' most passionate subjects. So if you really talk about what the material is in class, they really like to talk about it because it is their basic research at this point.
Yes.
Not many people talk to us, so we feel very happy.
Yeah, not like speaking to the point that not many people. I've only talked in my undergrad. I only talked to 3 professors. The person who wrote my recommendation letter, I even forgotten the other two. So you see how bad it was because like undergrad, like they don't. It's not like as much as they say come to office hours. You can come to office hours and there's like 10 people waiting behind to talk to the dude. But like, and you don't really build a relationship. He's just the person at the front of the class, and you might be sitting at like the back. But now that we're in grad classes and it's just like one row, and it's like, oh hey professor, what about this? Like you could stop mid class and ask him about this specific thing, and he'd be like, yeah, there are only 5 of you, so and then he'll like go through the whole thing and explain. Also, note taking is much better because normally teachers just try to get with the slides. Tell the professor, oh yeah, I didn't. Oh, he'll like, oh, go back 3 slides, and then you can take your time and actually write notes and things like that. Speaking to the latest developments. Because these people are still connected to the industry, any new development they will just say, and it becomes a whole discussion in class. So building those relationships will be actually like good for you because your professors can actually like anybody who's looking for jobs, your professors can actually get you jobs. Like my semiconductor device professor in one class literally wrote, this company is seeking a job. He wrote his email, send all your resumes there. And because we're just 5 people, like, but if he sends it to like 100 people, if he was an undergrad, he can't send it to 100 people. He doesn't want 100 people bombarding their email. So just because it's 5 of us, they can more job opportunities open. Like every time I walk into class, like, good evening, professor. And so he knows me at least. And though emailing him is so much easier, he responds like 5 minutes later. I'm like, thank you so much. Undergrad, they respond like a day, a week.
Or never.
Oh yeah, so
Not me.
Honestly, actually, like last week, Professor Gajic, in our reinforcement learning for engineers, I know probably can speak on that as well. But he was like, "Oh, here's this Siemens meeting that you guys should go to, and then you should show your project that you guys are working on because I know they'll be hiring. And if he's not, then badger him."
Well, let's thank our panelists because stash of money. Okay, So let's continue the discussion. If you now know Daniel and Shriram, if you find them anywhere, stop them and talk to them or even now. But let's go through the last piece and then I will be happy to address any additional questions. So what do you want to do now? If you still stay interested, even if you are not sure, right? Plan your senior year. Of course, the fall semester has already gotten over, but still you have spring semester left over. So if you have room in your spring semester, you want to take more courses than whatever room you have available, and for that, you should come and talk to me, say, I want to do this specialization, can I use this course, what do you think about that? Happy to chat about it. You should, of course, talk to your undergraduate director to make sure that you have satisfied all the other requirements. At the graduate level, you have to pick one of the 7 specialization areas. So you can do a specialization in communication, in signal and information processing, machine learning, systems and controls, computer engineering, software engineering, or solid state electronics. In each of these specialization areas, we require you to at least we have a recipe for each specialization area, at least 6 courses in that, which we call core and restrictive elective or depth. There may be some changes when you do next year, but the fundamental principle says that out of 30 credits, we restrict that you take 18 credits worth of courses or within a certain list, because that is what will give you a specialization. You can take all sorts of courses and say, I have specialized in communication, right? And then the rest of the courses, the rest 12 credits, you can take in any area that you prefer. And in addition, you have to take 2 semesters worth of what are called colloquium seminars, which are research seminars, which expose you to some of the latest things happening in different research areas. So we ask that master students do that. And in addition to that, sometimes what we have is students who say, I am passionate about, for example, let's say robotics and let's say machine learning. And what do I don't have anything that fits in this specialization. Can I design a specialization? And they sit with me, they come up with a proposal, we can approve that. We encourage cross-cutting specialization. What we don't allow is you say like, oh, I'll take one course from each of these and that will be a specialization. No, that's not a specialization, right? But as long as it is within a rational set of courses, we allow you to take that. I already talked about the fact that you can take either master's with thesis or without thesis. With thesis, the 18 courses get reduced a little bit because you are already becoming special. You are doing specialization by doing research, right? Or without thesis, you have to write a technical paper, which is one of the course projects. One of the questions that was asked was, can we use an undergraduate level course project as my technical paper? The answer for that is that fundamentally, a faculty has to agree with what you have done is good enough for a technical paper. It doesn't matter where that technical paper comes from, okay? So some students use their internship for the technical paper, some students use their research for the technical paper. If they're not doing thesis, some students use their course project for the technical paper. The timeline is, as of now, we have started accepting applications for fall 2024. The initial set of applications that will come in will be decided by end of December. You will hear a decision. Since the process is a slightly different than regular admission, sometimes things fall through the cracks. If that happens, please do reach back to us, okay? From January to August, we do a continuous review of your application. Even after the admission has gone on, if your GPA falls through, if you start getting too many apps or actually any apps, your admission can be unfortunately rescinded, but I hope none of you are in that scenario. We suggest that you do try to apply by May, but we do accept applications even as late as the processing time before fall semester starts. So let's say you were not sure, you grad, but once you leave, right? So one of the things is once you leave Rutgers and you decide to come back to Rutgers for masters, the undergraduate transfer option is over. The BSMS only applies if you are continuously, you are a student who transitions from undergraduate to graduate. So you leave, you come back, you are just like, because in general, a graduate student who comes to Rutgers is not given credit for undergraduate courses. So once you leave, you are no longer a BSMS student if you come back, okay? Yes. Right, all of those are gone. So one of the things we do allow, if you apply, you get admitted, we do allow up to 1 year deferral. Okay, so in that case, we keep you within the system as a BSMS student. But if you never applied, you were never granted a deferral or anything, you left, you come back, now you have to start like any other graduate. Okay. So if you are interested in a TA position, which is extremely competitive, we already talked about GA position, the TA positions are even more competitive, or I would say equally competitive, I should perhaps say that. The TA positions are, we require 2 letters of recommendation from faculty who can say this person will make a phenomenal TA. And we require that in that case you apply by March 1st because TA for next year are assigned by the end of March. So if you apply later, right? So let's say you apply, let's say April or May, by that time TA positions have already gone. Okay, so sometimes they open up, but they are very competitive. As I said, like typically among BSMS students, anywhere from maybe 5 to 10% of them get TA position, no more than that. Okay. So what is the process to submit the application? We will share these slides with you, but here is the website. You go to the website, you complete the first 3 sections of the application, but you do not submit it. Just complete the first 3 sections and then print out them as a PDF file. Okay, don't submit. And then after that, that PDF plus your unofficial transcript, don't have to pay money for transcripts, unofficial transcripts, and what is your specialization area, send that to ECE grad program at SOU.Rutgers.edu. That is effectively your application, nothing else. If your GPA is greater than 3.7, then you are, you can be considered for TA position. The cutoff is that high because we don't have, this is unfortunately, this is an arbitrary cutoff because we don't have that many TA positions, so it doesn't make sense to have everyone apply. So we have to somehow find a way to limit that. But if your GPA is like 3.695, you know, it is still okay. In that case, you can, need 2 letters. If your GPA is 3.2 or higher, you are not interested in TA position, you don't need any letters of recommendation. So if you don't know any faculty, you don't have to go and get to know them now, okay? Wait for your graduate program. If your GPA is between 3 and 3.2, then we do need 1 letter of recommendation from someone who can say, look, this person, what we are looking for in that letter is that, okay, this person is planning on doing this kind of specialization, and they took my course in that, and I think they are well versed, their GPA is low because of whatever reasons, or you can try to explain that. Yes?
What is the recommendation?
Well, so position, right? We are looking for faculty to tell us whether this person will make a great TA. Your boss in a company would not be able to help us with that because they don't know what courses we teach. For that letter, the GPA requirement based letter, you know, if you get it from a boss, then that is okay. Yes.
The ECE or the CSI?
Well, CS faculty can only talk about the courses that they taught, but we cannot make you a TA for those courses. So we are really looking for someone who says, this person took this course with me, or I know them, and they will make a great TA for my course. Right? They really have to effectively endure TA to be their TA and someone else will TA them. Yes.
I guess I kind of answered my question, I think, but I was going to ask, like, if you did a research project at another university,
not for TA-ship. It's not, I mean, we will accept the letter. I'm just telling you it wouldn't have any value, right? You will satisfy ticking the box. Then, oh, I have 2 letters. We'll tick the box and say, we have 2 letters from this person. But it's not going to actually help you get the TA. Okay? There was some other person hand up. Okay. And then if your GPA is between 2.8 and 3, then we need 2 strong letters of recommendation, because the problem is that GPA at the graduate level needs to be at least 3.0 for you to graduate. Your GPA at the undergraduate is already below 3. We need someone to convince us that, look, this person in this area is good enough. When they do specialize in this area, they will do great. Okay? And that's about it. You know, if you go through it, you probably will have be able to say something like this. And I'm happy to take any additional questions. And thank you so much for stopping by. If you did not sign up, please do sign up. If you have to go, you can go. I can still take audience questions, and if too many people leave, then I can also take individual questions. Okay, so question.